Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Danny Burke with BurkeSpeed.com. I've got a play in the NBA and a couple of Major League Baseball to dish out. Let's start in the association. This one's going to revolve around an adjusted series price, and not just the overall series, but in particular a series spread bet. Now, I discussed this on the Burke Speed podcast yesterday, but in case you missed it, essentially what it was taking a look at the 76ers catching 2.5 games. Minus 122 was the best price that I saw that available at FanDuel. Now, catching 2.5 games on the series spread means that the Sixers either have to win it in some capacity or lose this series in 7 or 6 games. And make sure you look at the series spread as opposed to the total games because sportsbooks somehow still get this incorrectly. It's the same bet. For the series to go over 5.5 games would mean that Philadelphia has to cover 2.5 games. Yet books are charging you more on betting over 5.5 games as opposed to catching 2.5 on the series spread with the Sixers. It's ridiculous. So make sure you always keep an eye out for that. But nevertheless, I'm taking Philly. They're a 4.5 point favorite for game 3. The Knicks are somewhat fortunate, let's be honest, to be up 2-0 in this series. I do like New York for the entirety of the series, but I think going back to the city of brotherly love is going to prove to do wonders for Joel Embiid and company. Would not be shocked to see them get both games back in Philly. And if they do that, they cover 2.5 on the series spread. So that's what I am adding for my slate of NBA postseason betting. Philly plus 2.5 on the series spread at the price of minus 122. And then moving on to the diamond, a pair of plays for tonight involves my hometown team, the Chicago Cubs, looking to get another dub against the struggling Houston Astros. Jameson Taillon making his second start of the 2024 season tonight for the Cubs. And man, they need him to step up with the injuries they've endured based on how he underperformed last year would be huge if Taillon could provide some quality innings for Chicago. And he can do that against a struggling Astros team right now. Like I mentioned, they are still top 10 in weighted runs created plus against right-handed pitching. But if you look at over just the course of a little more than the last week, they are dead last in that category. Now, the Cubs are about middle of the pack when it comes to hitting against right-handers, who they'll be facing tonight in Spencer Arrighetti. Arrighetti's making his third career start, and in two already, he's accumulated an ERA of 11.57, an xFIP of 5.20, batting average of balls in play 458. Remember, you want that sub 300. It's early. He's a younger guy. I'm sure he can pan out fine, but in an environment where it's a more of a hot offense in Chicago at the friendly confines, I think Chicago gets the advantage in the pitching matchup and slightly with the offense. Now, bullpen wise, the Cubs have had their woes, but Houston's actually been worse in the relief. 5.28 ERA, 4.52 FIP. Cubs at 3.87 ERA throughout their bullpen with a FIP of 4.23. Now, the wind is blowing in, and I do think that benefits a guy in Jameson Taillon, who has a 57% fly ball rate after just one game. Small sample size, but the last couple of years, he has been susceptible to allowing a lot of fly balls, which could potentially lead to home runs, especially at Wrigley Field. So the wind blowing in, I believe, to be a benefit for Taillon as well. Arrighetti's also been allowing almost 30% of his hits that have gone in play to be considered line drive. So that again is a pro for this Cubs offense. Minus 108, the best number I saw was Chicago, and that's what I'm rolling with. The other play that I got in Major League Baseball, I'll scroll down here as we talk Cardinals and Diamondbacks. Yesterday on the podcast, gave out Arizona over 3.5 team total runs. They got there to say the least. And I was going to take Arizona to win the game too. And I talked about this on the pod, but a little scared based on how much the market was showing love towards St. Louis. I didn't really understand it, but I just wanted to stay in terms of the total runs in case I was completely off base. And turns out that I wasn't. And it seems I'm kind of in the same situation here. The market is showing love towards St. Louis. I want to back Arizona, and I did so at the price of plus 105. Arizona soaring out Southpaw Jordan Montgomery. This is going to be his second start of the season. First one came against the Giants. Good outing, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run was just a solo shot, 3 strikeouts, and no walks. Now remember, he's going against his former team in the St. Louis Cardinals, perhaps an extra incentive added to his motivation for this start. Kyle Gibson, he already went up against Arizona and he's starting tonight for the Cardinals. He went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits and 4 earned runs against the Diamondbacks. His xFIP came out to 558 for that effort. Overall, this season, he has an ERA of 5.04, a FIP of 5.84, and his skill interactive ERA is 4.96. So, a lot of red flags for the right handed pitcher in Kyle Gibson. Arizona not hitting as great against right handed pitching like they are against lefties. But then you flip it around. The Cardinals, and a reason why I didn't take the full game over or trust them yesterday, and why I just did the Diamondbacks team total, they haven't been doing great against left-handed pitching. They ranked 25th against southpaws and weighted runs created plus. They have not been able to hit lefties. That's why I think Jordan Montgomery can thrive in this setting, and that the Diamondbacks offense that, yes, is sporadic, but still leads the league in run production, can do enough to win this game, especially given the price of plus money makes it feel like a good side to take for this matchup. So give me the Cardinals for the other side of that play, risking a unit to win 1.05. With the Cubbies, I'm going to be laying minus one, or pardon me, I'm going to be laying 1.08 units to win one. And then with that Sixers series bet, by the way, again, it was at 1.22. I'm going to be risking 2.44 units to win 2 units on Philly to cover 2.5 games on the series spread. That's what I got for this Wednesday. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the Burke Speed podcast and burkspeed.com.